calories, and I'm talking all calories here, really, not just calories from processed food, by eating less calories, we can begin to start to stabilize our blood sugar. A second great strategy for stabilizing blood sugar is to eat more protein and to eat more good fat. Yes, I said eat more good fat. Don't pay any attention to the nonsense about keeping your fat intake low as long as that fat is good. Coconut oil, for example, is a stupendously important fat. And not only is it a great fat just for giving your body a good source of fat and a good source of vitamin E and a good source of something called medium chain triglycerides, which the body can use very effectively for energy, but coconut oil is also a great way to stabilize your blood sugar. In fact, if you want to eat less food, using a tablespoon or teaspoonful of coconut oil before you start your meals is a great way to decrease the amount of foods that you eat and improve your satiety. By the way, when it comes to eating less calories, I don't like the idea of suffering or struggling. I like the idea of satiety, of satisfaction, of making sure that you feel satisfied, so eating less calories is easy. Remember, your stomach is about this big, size of a fist. It can hold maybe 2 pints of food when it's maxed out, but you don't really need to have 2 pints of food to feel satisfied. You don't really need to fill up that fist-sized stomach to feel satisfied. For most of us, we'll feel satisfied with 1 or 2 bites. Notice this the next time you're hungry. Notice the next time you're hungry when you decide to eat that after 1 bite or 2 bites, you're pretty much satisfied. You pretty much don't need to eat. Now, most of us, including myself, will continue eating. We'll basically finish the amount of food on our plate, or we'll just continue eating if we're in a social setting just because we want to be part of the crowd. But as far as being satisfied, as far as being full, it only takes 1 or 2 bites. So eating less food is one of the most important strategies, not only for stabilizing your blood sugar, but for taking the load off of the digestive system. You can also use micronutrients, that is vitamins and minerals, to help stabilize the blood sugar. There's 2 very important minerals. There's actually 3 very important minerals that are involved with blood sugar control. Magnesium is one, chromium is another, vanadium is another. If you go to InfoWarsHealth.com, you'll find a really cool product called Sweet Ease, which is made with chromium and vanadium. You'll find another product called the Beyond OsteoFX, which is made with magnesium. All 3 of these minerals are very important for sugar metabolism. Zinc is also very important for sugar metabolism, and zinc deficiency, by the way, along with magnesium deficiencies, are really, really common and very tragically common because they're so easy to replace via supplementation in foods. 50 milligrams of zinc picolinate is a great place to be. You always want to balance out your zinc with copper. Other nutrients that can help you stabilize sugar, there's an amino acid called taurine. Taurine's a little bit difficult to find from foods. You'll find taurine in meats and seafood, organ meats. High-protein foods will typically contain some taurine. But if you want to supplement with taurine, you can use 100 milligrams of taurine a day, maybe 200 milligrams of taurine a day. Great blood sugar stabilizing effects. Arginine, another super-duper amino acid, not only important for helping stabilize blood sugar, but arginine is also very important for building, for immunity. It's got antiviral properties. Arginine can also be helpful for helping the body secrete growth hormone, and arginine is stupendously important for heart health. These are all, by the way, nutrients whose deficiencies are really common, tragically common. And I'm telling you, as a nutritional pharmacist, as a pharmacist who uses nutrients in my practice, it's hard for me to believe that these nutritional deficiencies, which are so common, are not somewhere located, somewhere behind our absolutely abysmal state of health. This is why I have such a problem with physicians and with doctors and with medicalizing. We really don't need to be medicalized. Yeah, sure, if you get hit by a car, you get hit by a bus, or you have some kind of accident, you may need to have some kind of surgical procedure done. I call it heroic medicine. Heroic medicine is where they stitch you up after you have some kind of traumatic injury. But in terms of chronic, long-term degenerative diseases, the kind of problems most of us are dealing with, whether they're blood sugar problems or heart problems or immune system problems, these are not issues that we need to be interfacing with the medical model for. These aren't doctor issues. These are issues that involve lifestyle and lifestyle choices around blood sugar and around food and around working with the adrenal glands as well, which hopefully I'll get to here in a second. So anyway, stabilizing blood sugar, eating less calories, using coconut oil, using micronutrients like chromium and vanadium, which you'll find in the sweeties, using arginine and taurine. The B complex, by the way, is stupendously important for blood sugar control, especially thiamine, which is vitamin B1, and niacin, which is vitamin B3. In fact, niacin is actually part of something called the glucose tolerance factor, which is a complex of chemicals that the body makes in order to process glucose. Here's the really interesting thing about the B complex. The B complex is water soluble, which means it dissolves in water, which means it dissolves in the watery part of the body, which means it's excreted out of the body every time we urinate. This is so important because every time we go to the bathroom, every time we urinate, we lose our B complex. In other words, every time we urinate, we lose our ability to process sugar. Oh yeah, by the way, magnesium, which is also important for sugar processing, is water soluble too. So we lose our B complex, we lose our niacin, we lose our thiamine, we lose our magnesium every time we urinate. We lose our ability to process sugar every time we go to the bathroom. Now, how many folks are replacing their magnesium every time they go to the bathroom? How many folks are replacing their B complex every time they go to the bathroom? The B complex, by the way, is not just it's not only important for sugar metabolism. The B complex is also important for energy, and it's also important for brain health, and it's also important for the immune system, and it's also important for the digestive system, which means every time we go to the bathroom, we lose our ability or reduce our ability to process sugar. We reduce our ability to think clearly. We reduce our ability to process foods via the digestive system. In fact, almost every single system in the body, because it depends on the B complex of vitamins, becomes compromised when we go to the bathroom if we're not replacing those nutrients. And this is one of the reasons why I'm such a big proponent of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, which is liquid nutrients, especially liquid B complex. And by the way, liquid B complex in very high concentrations. So controlling your blood sugar by eating less foods, using micronutrients, using liquid nutrients, making sure you're on the B complex, job number one. Job number two, focus on digestive health. And the same strategies, or some of the same strategies that you can use for improving sugar control, you can also use for improving digestive health, namely eating less food. This is so important. In fact, one of the craziest strategies that we hear we're supposed to do from the mainstream is to keep eating throughout the day. They call it grazing. Some of you probably heard of this, where you eat 5 meals a day or 6 meals a day, and theoretically it's supposed to keep your blood sugar stable. This is one of the craziest medical strategies or health strategies you could ever use, because if you do something like eating throughout the day, you never give your digestive system a break. Can you imagine this? For most of us, we've gone cradle to grave without giving our digestive system a break for more than 1 or 2 hours. This can do nothing but put a horrific load on the digestive system. And in my opinion, it's probably behind this idea of eating throughout the day is probably behind much of our health crises, much of our epic, biblical almost health crises. So eating less food, even to the point of fasting. Now, some folks will say, oh, I can't do a fast. It's too hard to do a fast. Well, guess what? When you do a fast, something very interesting happens to your brain. Chemicals called orexins, O-R-E-X-I-N-S, or some people call them hypocretins, H-Y-P-O-C-R-E-T-I-N-S. Hypocretins or orexins are secreted in the brain in response to fasting. Why is this important? Well, it turns out that orexins and hypocretins give you energy. They keep you awake. They keep you alert. In fact, orexins and hypocretins give you so much energy and keep you so alert that drug companies are now studying these compounds to use them as the latest form of speed in order to deal with things like narcolepsy. But you can make your own hypocretin. You don't need any pharmaceutical hypocretin. You can make your own orexins. You don't need any pharmaceutical orexins simply by giving yourself a food holiday, by fasting. In fact, if you have any kind of inflammatory health condition or autoimmune condition, the fastest way to reduce the symptoms and reverse the autoimmune condition itself is to stop eating. You don't believe me? Try it. Do it for 1 day. Watch what happens when you fast for 1 day if you're dealing with some kind of chronic autoimmune condition or chronic inflammatory condition. In fact, even WebMD has an article on their website about multiple sclerosis, MS, and fasting. Fasting improves multiple sclerosis. Of course, WebMD is no fan of alternative medicine or nutritional medicine, but even they have it on their website about the power of fasting for reducing the symptoms of autoimmunity. Again, I don't like struggle. I don't like willpower. I like satiety. So if you're trying to fast, but you have a problem with it because you just can't force yourself to not eat, use soups or use vegetable juices, or do use what I call vegetable waters. A vegetable water is where you take cucumber or celery or some kind of vegetable and you slice it up into thin slices and you put it into some distilled water and you let the electrolytes seep out of the vegetable, out of the cucumber, out of the celery, and go into the water. You can also use a blender. If you use a blender with your vegetables, you'll blend up the vegetables and you'll spin those electrolytes that are in the vegetables in the vortex. And when electrolytes and water are spun around in a vortex, they create electrical energy. When you drink that vegetable water that's been blended, you'll get that electrical energy and you'll find that you're satisfied to the point where you don't feel like eating. So using vegetable waters, using soups, especially what I call bone soup, where you take a carcass.
Hold on, pharmacist Ben Fuchs. Hold on. Hey, I did it. 18 minutes. I didn't cut into somebody. We're going to come right back with pharmacist Ben Fuchs in the final segment. This information is so simple but so revolutionary. The truth will set us free. The people perish for lack of knowledge. We want to thank all the viewers and listeners out there for your prayers. We're praying with you for a new enlightenment, a new renaissance, a new age of freedom to replace the globalist counterfeit satanic new age. Monday through Friday, we're here, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. live. I'll be back this Sunday in studio for a live transmission. Sometimes David Knight sits in, does a great job. Sometimes it's taped. Most of the time it's live. And I'll be live. I was live last Sunday, be live this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, unless we get snowed in down here, all part of this global warming. Going back to pharmacist Ben Fuchs here, I said earlier, hey, I promote probiotics even though I don't sell one on InfoWarsLife.com. But then I was looking over here as we're promoting Root Beer Belly and Flora FX from Longevity at InfoWarsHealth.com. I guess technically I do, but what I mean is I don't really promote it because I end up getting brands at Whole Foods and stuff. But I have started taking Flora FX and also the enzymes, and have really, I tell you the truth, I don't know about these probiotics, so I just take randomly a whole bunch of different ones. I don't know if that's probably the best thing I'm doing. What's your view on that, pharmacist Ben Fuchs?
There's two ways to do your probiotics. Number one, what you're talking about now, by supplementing with them, with the Root Beer Belly, the Flora FX. There's a product called Biolumin Nightly Essence, which is a longevity product, which is my favorite probiotic. And then there's the second way, which is to eat fermented food. Traditionally, indigenous cultures have always ingested fermented foods.
So sauerkraut?
Exactly. Sauerkraut, fermented cabbage, fermented beets, miso, tempeh, pickles. There's so many different ways that you can get fermented foods.
Okay, so I love all that, so I'm good.
Go crazy with it. In fact, you can subsist on it. When bacteria act on these foods, they release the nutrients. So they make it easier for the body to absorb those nutrients. And that's really what it's all about, Alex. Making it easy for the body to get nutrition.
These are all the things our ancestors developed over thousands of years.
Yes, they've been doing it for millennia, and it's only been the last 200 years that we figured out artificially how to take the nutrients out of food and sell humanity the carcass, the dead body of the food. You know why they do that, by the way? Do you know why food processors take the nutrients out of the food and leave us with the carcass? It's because when you take the nutrients, the micronutrients, the vitamins and the minerals out and the fats out of the foods,
you need more.
No, the foods last longer.
Oh, sure,
The bugs won't eat them. The bugs aren't stupid. They're not going to eat food that has no nutritional value. Only we eat those foods. So the foods have their nutrients removed so they'll have shelf life.
Oh, exactly. That's why they're doing GMO tomatoes. But secondarily, I mean, I know McDonald's has admitted this. They like to take the nutrients out because then, as you said, it lasts longer, but also people are hungry again.
And they keep eating over and over and over again. This is why people lose weight once they start a micronutrient program. This is why the Beyond Tangy Tangerine causes weight loss, even though it's not really a weight loss product.
That's how I first lost my first 25, 30 pounds. Now I've lost 20 more.
You feel satisfied. You feel satisfied quicker. And that's really what it's all about. I was saying before when you were gone, it's not about willpower. It's about satisfaction. And satisfaction is regulated by nutrient content.
Little less talk, little more action. Satisfaction, absolutely. Well, InfoWarsHealth.com, InfoWarsTeam.com if you want to become a longevity distributor. And you can sign up on those sites and become a member and get a discount, get stuff like free shipping when you get auto ship. A lot of stuff, InfoWarsTeam.com, InfoWarsHealth.com, or 888-789-9277, 888-789-9277. If you want any of the InfoWars team to be able to answer any questions, maybe you want to become a member and work on it, become a member of InfoWarsTeam.com. Pharmacist Ben Fuchs, we got to have you just guest host sometime. with you and David Knight or something, so he can just ride shotgun with you. But because David really compliments folks like yourself that are scientific. Thank you so much, and we'll be listening next Monday, 10 a.m. Central, to The Bright Side.